Last year, there were 237.3 million hectoliters of wine produced globally. This is enough to fill 7,903 Olympic-sized swimming pools and is enough for every human to have 11 glasses of wine for themselves. All that wine, and still nearly 100% of all production, falls between the 30-degree and 50-degree north and south latitude lines. While this does include much of Europe, the United States, and China, it still excludes many heavily populated countries. So you're telling me that most of Africa, most of South and Central America, and Southern Asia contribute less than 1% of global wine production? Yeah, that's right. Wine is of course produced from grapes, and grapes are quite temperamental. They require specific conditions in order to grow properly, and that's why we hear certain years of wines being more desirable than others. For example, a 2011 wine from Bordeaux, France is very desirable due to the favorable weather conditions the region experienced that year. So what are ideal conditions for grape growth? Interestingly enough, the main component that is talked about when mentioning weather conditions is the flavor. My idea of crop growth is that favorable conditions would result in greater yield, better weather, more crops. But for grapes, the main point of interest is better weather, better flavor. In order to have the ideal flavor profile, vineyards want temperatures between 77 and 90 degrees Fahrenheit, 25 to 32 degrees Celsius, annual rainfall around 20 inches or 500 millimeters, and of course, fertile soil. These conditions are primarily found in 3 different types of climates. Humid continental, which has colder winters and longer lasting snowfall, but warm enough summers that snow turns into rainier conditions. An example of this region would be Romania, which currently lands 11th in terms of total wine production. Next, we have oceanic or marine. This climate has cool summers and mild winters, which keeps temperatures in the desired range for longer. The top wine producing country, France, and its wine regions benefit from this marine climate. Lastly, there is the Mediterranean climate. These regions have warm and rainy summers as well as hot, dry winters. Parts of Italy, the United States, and Chile all experience the Mediterranean climate and are 3 of the top 5 wine-producing countries. Where can you find these climate conditions? You guessed it, between the 30 and 50 degree latitude lines, both north and south of the equator. All the top wine producing countries and their most famous wine regions fall into one of these 3 climates: Bordeaux, France, oceanic; Tuscany, Italy, Mediterranean; Rioja, Spain, Mediterranean; Napa Valley, USA, Mediterranean; Santiago, Chile, Mediterranean. In order to keep conditions as ideal as possible, vineyards take measures to replicate ideal climate conditions. In drier regions or years with less than average rainfall, irrigation is often needed to ensure grapes have enough water to grow. Irrigation of vineyards has proven to be less straightforward than you might imagine. Due to water scarcity issues in countries like Spain and irrigation laws in Portugal, vineyards can struggle to supply water to their grapevines. According to the Water Footprint Network, it is estimated that on average, 1 liter of wine requires 870 liters of water to produce. This large water cost and the struggle to effectively supply it to vineyards means that some companies have been priced out of business. This, combined with the decreasing global wine consumption since 2003, has led to further struggles for vineyards and wine-producing countries. Amongst the top 10 wine-producing countries, only France, the United States, and Portugal saw increases in production from 2022 to 2023, and overall production dropped by almost 10%. In the coming years, continue to look out for the continuation of decreasing wine consumption and production, and remember, the next time you have a glass of wine, it's safe to assume it was produced within these 2 bands.